Will Bitcoin crash even further? Why is Bitcoin going down? What's happening in the market? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be discussing that today in this video. I'm going to get you up to speed because this is really the start of a much broader economic problems, but we're going to talk about what's going on, why it may be happening, what in the world's happening in the crypto markets, particularly with Bitcoin. I'm also going to share with you my strategy when I see crypto prices going down. There are places that you can make money in crypto. You can still find profits in the crypto space. How do you do it? We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the video as well. But overall, it's important to understand what is happening now and then where to find possible investments that could actually go up right now. There's one I'm looking at. It's already up 13% for the day so far, and we'll be talking about that a little later in the video as well. So is Bitcoin going down? Obviously the answer is yes. It's going down right now. It's down 10% in the past 30 days. It's down 7% just today alone. We're looking at $43,000 Bitcoin. So no matter how you look at it right now, this might be an opportunity to buy. How do you know if you should buy right now? Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you. First and foremost, we'll get to what's happening in the market, but I always believe in dollar cost averaging. Now, this is not financial advice. I'm not some sort of financial expert. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just my opinion. I'm enthusiastic about the cryptocurrency space. I believe this space offers incredible opportunity. In fact, I believe part of the opportunity that exists in crypto is because of what's happening in the market right now. So let's talk about what's happening in the market, how crypto can solve that, and how in the world to invest in such a crazy time right now. So if you come over here, the overall stock market is down right now. So people often say, hey, if the stock market crashes, is Bitcoin going to crash or is crypto going to crash? The answer to that is right now, yes. Right now, the Bitcoin and the stock market, the crypto market and the stock market are closely aligned. And if you look what's going on right now, stock market news, live updates, Wall Street sinks amid China's Evergrande contagion fears, U.S. debt policies. We're going to be talking about that in a few moments, but look at the market right now. S&P's down 68 points. Dow 30's down 495, NASDAQ down 275. These are huge moves. Now, if you're in the crypto space, a 1% move is nothing. But these are huge, huge moves in crypto. By the way, look at this. Gold is up $7 right now. That's a sign of what's going on. I will tell you, as a cryptocurrency investor, I hate the fact that gold goes up but crypto doesn't. Because many of us who have been investing in this space for years, we got started because we understood this sort of systemic risk is happening. The reason the market is going down is because of literally one very large company, and it's not even an American company, it's a Chinese company, and it's this down here, this Evergrande. This is a real estate developer in China that is over leveraged. They're in debt. But if you remember in the US that there were certain companies in 2007 they said were too big to fail. It's very possible Evergrande is too big to fail in China. But the problem is all of our countries are intertwined financially. China is the biggest buyer of U.S. debt. Most private companies in China are very much in line with their government, in bed with the government. So when you have a company of this size sinking significantly, this could have broader impact on actually the Chinese government itself, not just the Chinese economy. And if the Chinese economy goes down, they're the largest foreign buyer of U.S. debt. They fund so much of what our government does. America's in so much debt. Sooner or later, a collapse is inevitable. The question is how and when. I want to go into a little bit more about what's happening with this Evergrande, just so you can understand. The reason crypto markets is going down is because crypto is still associated with the major financial mainstream market. And what happens is people are speculating on crypto as an asset that will go up. They're not using it today as money. They're not using it today believing it's going to be a hedge like gold is. The large financial players are coming into crypto, but they're not here for a hedge. They're here as they're just looking for another asset class that's going to go up in value. And there's more people investing in crypto right now as a traditional investment mindset, not using it as a hedge. And as long as the vast majority are using crypto as a traditional financial asset that could go up in value, then you're going to see that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole is going to stay very closely related to exactly what the broader stock market does. I'm waiting for that to break. At some point, I believe people are going to start going into crypto as a hedge against the traditional financial markets. But that has not happened yet. The overall stock market's going down, therefore crypto is going down right now. But the reason the stock market is going down is because there are concerns about this Evergrande. So I want to go just take a look. Shout out to this guy, Sahil Bloom, on Twitter. I want to go through what he said because he did a pretty good job of breaking this story down. And then once we go through this, and I feel like you're going to have a solid understanding of what's happened with Evergrande, then I'll kind of go through my mindset personally investing right now into crypto. Then I'll go through my strategies right now investing into crypto. So China's Evergrande, the breakdown of the story. So the Evergrande Group is a Fortune 500 real estate developer with headquarters in wherever, China. It was founded by this gentleman in 1996. It's a big business. As recently as 2020, it had sales of greater than $100 billion and adjusted core profits of $5 billion. At its core, it's a home builder business. Its website states that it has 1,300 projects across 280 plus cities, but it has pushed the boundaries, making investments in EVs, an internet and media production company, a theme park, a soccer club, and a mineral water company. As a developer, Evergrande had to contend with a highly cash-consumptive growth profile. It's important to understand Evergrande was putting out a lot of money. They were needing a lot of money up front to build houses, and they got the majority of it on the back end from the buyer. So how do they grow their business? By using debt. It borrowed aggressively, even by real estate property development standards. It became the world's most heavily indebted developer with a debt load of over $100 billion and over $300 billion in liabilities. So there's a bit of a moral hazard problem that was created along the way. Evergrande was largely indifferent to pricing on the land it was purchasing, knowing that the risk would be passed off to banks financing the purchases. As his debt burden grew, so did the interest payments on that debt. This is mostly fine so long as revenues and profits with which you can make these payments continue to grow. But if the growth or profitability slows or government restricts borrowing, it's not fine. Imagine a metaphysical boa constrictor tightening its grip on its prey. You can try to borrow more to make your payments, but that only fuels the snake. You can borrow more to make your payments, but that just grows your debt, which means you're going to have larger and larger interest rates. It's also, as anyone who knows, if you've ever had personal credit issues, it's hard to borrow money. So when banks and institutions recognize that, hey, you're getting in a challenging financial position, they're less likely to let you borrow money. In Evergrande's case, the snake tightened its grip in 2020. So it had its first major liquidity scare. But the bottom line is it got through that. As with most deleveraging spirals, there's a technical side, inability to make payments, and a psychological side, the knowledge of instability impacting your market standing. The psychological is damning. Reports of the letter, Evergrande stock and bonds tumbling. So what happened is people found out, hey, they're having a hard time making their payments. Their stock price started tumbling. They had a bit of a short-term crisis that was avoided as an investor group didn't force a big repayment. An investor group basically said, hey, we don't want you to fail, so we're not going to force, your big repayment right now, like probably some sort of a balloon payment. But this is important, and this is what's happening in the U.S. economy as well. And ladies and gentlemen, if you get anything from my channel, you need to be prepared. Crypto may be a part of that preparedness, but it goes even further than crypto. This Dornbusch's law says that the crisis takes longer than you expect, but then happens faster than you could ever have imagined. That is the risk of any debt crisis, whether it's a government like the U.S. or anyone else. So the question is, what do you do right now? Well, first of all, it's important for you to know that this could lead to further market collapse. And if this collapse is averted, then you need to know we're not far from a major world company, international company, creating a collapse that could be a chain effect. That could happen. Back in 2007, the U.S. government basically was able to print money, and they kicked the proverbial can down the road. But their ability to print money is becoming more and more of a problem. This is why you see countries like El Salvador adopting Bitcoin. El Salvador just bought more Bitcoin when prices went down. I can almost guarantee you're going to start seeing other news stories of other companies and maybe even countries buying Bitcoin. You may see it this week. You may see MicroStrategy buy more Bitcoin. You may see another country say they're going to start buying Bitcoin. You may read news reports of El Salvador buying the dip. I believe that you can start to see that because we are part of a financial system that is literally built on sand. And at some point, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to become a problem. How do I invest in cryptocurrency right now? Take a look at this project. It's up 13% today, 13.83%. So I look for projects. Well, first of all, let me just say this. I'm always dollar cost averaging, and I am earning passive income every single day in the form of cryptocurrency. If you go down into my description of this video, you're going to see where you can subscribe to our free Crypto Passive Profits newsletter. That newsletter, basically, it just shows you very easy ways to earn passive Bitcoin that anybody can do. Absolutely anybody can do that. But outside of that, I'm always dollar cost averaging. I'm always dollar cost averaging into the big players like Bitcoin and Ethereum. I have my favorites, and if you want to know more about what my favorites are, just subscribe to the channel and I'll talk about it a little later. Outside of dollar cost averaging, you got to make certain that you don't overinvest. The worst thing that you can do in crypto is be in a position where you're like, oh, the market's going down. I might need that money. I need to sell. Crypto is still the riskiest investment that I make of all of my investments. Cryptocurrency is my favorite probably because I believe in the technology. And I like what the technology does, but it's still my riskiest investment. So I don't ever put money into crypto that I'm going to need to get access to. The single biggest reason I ever withdraw crypto, true story, is to pay taxes on it. I rarely withdraw from crypto because I believe this entire market has a potential to 10x, 100x, even more from here. My personal belief, I'm very biased to the upside. That's not financial advice for you, but me personally, I'm very biased to the upside. So I'm always dollar cost averaging. I'm never putting myself in a financial position where I need the funds right away. If this market tanks 90%, I'm okay. I'm still going to be a buyer if the market was to go down by 90%. Do you understand? There's a small part of me that's always like, okay, because I always feel like when the market pulls back, it's creating like a reset and it's going to go back up. So when there's strong pullbacks, even like now, like I'm buying. I bought some more today. I'm always buying. And if it goes down tomorrow significantly, I'm going to buy some more. I mean, if we get down to $30,000 Bitcoin, that's not the end of the world for me. I'm always dollar cost averaging. I'm always buying in as cheap as I can because I think long term the price is just going to go through the roof eventually. Now, as far as new investments that I make in this space, I look for small cap investments with strong community. Right now, one of the projects I'm looking at right here, for example, is this Rex token. Super small cap project. I have an entire video talking about the Rex token. I'll link it above. You can watch that video. And I'm actually going to be sharing with my email subscribers my specific strategy on investing with the Rex token right now. But this thing went up 13%. It's actually a combination of three tokens. It's called the Rex token, the T-Rex, and the MREX. The T-Rex token a couple weeks ago was selling for $500. Last night, at one point, it was $20,000. I'm not kidding. Go watch that video on the that I did I think last week on the Rex token. And there's other projects as well that I'm looking at. You know, I'm always looking at smaller projects that have a loyal following. Some of the NFT games, for example, would be a great example of that. I'll be covering that sort of content a little bit later in my video as well. So I just want to recap right now. The market's going down. It's going down because of a major Chinese company. Bad news for the financial market. The entire financial market is connected, so they're worried what's going to happen. Bitcoin still follows mainstream financial markets. So since those markets are going down right now, Bitcoin's going down. My strategy, not financial advice, inside of a down market is to always dollar cost average, never put in more than I could afford to lose, or never put in more because I'm never planning to lose it, but never put in more that I have to withdraw over the next 6 months or a year. If I put money into crypto, it's there to stay for as long as possible. So dollar cost average, never put in more than you can afford, and then look for cottage projects, not even small cap projects. You're talking about cottage projects. This token that I just referenced, I'll put a video on the end screen for the Rex token, but that token doesn't even have $1 million market cap right now. So it doesn't take much for that token, even though it's super high risk to be in a project like that. I mean, just this thing, let's just take a look at this for a minute. Just a few weeks ago was at 0.001, 4 zeros and a 1. Right now it's at 0.008, and it's up 13% per day. So if you've enjoyed this video, do me a favor and smash that like button. Decentralized cryptocurrency equals freedom. This is Crypto Wealth. I'm out.